we have an update about 6 Tanglewood Drive, the rework release date announcement. As you can see, it will be available on March 3rd, so next week, which means we've only got until March 3rd to play the current Tanglewood map before it changes. Now, we do have a couple of things. I am going to read through it really quickly so you don't have to. Welcome back, Ghost Hunters. We have some news for you. Today, we're excited to announce that our reworked 6 Tanglewood Drive will be launching on March 3rd, 2026 for all platforms. Keen-eyed Ghost Hunters will have seen that our last developer preview said that the player character update would launch alongside the Tangle rework. Due to the scope of the update, these have now been separated, with Tanglewood launching first, but rest assured, the player character update will not be far behind. So we're going to get the Tangle rework first, and then we're going to get the character updates, like the animations for like the death and the revive, and maybe even character customization. We're going to get that a little bit later. So Tanglewood first, player character updates a little bit later. While we'd like to save the majority of the changes and surprises that await you with the map launch, we want to give a little detail on why and how we've decided to rework such a fan favourite location. Now, the visuals that we've got so far of Tanglewood caused an awful lot of like a stir, especially from like people like me, because the looping spot in the kitchen is now gone. But they assure us that there's a reason why they've done it. It shouldn't be too different. Like, even though that the best looping spot in the game has gone, apparently there's a reason for it. I shall read on. So the visuals, as with all our previous map reworks, our aim is to bring all our original locations up to the quality we know both Phasmophobia and our team are capable of. We've created brand new assets, props, animations and more to populate 6 Tanglewood Drive and bring it in line with the vision that we've always had. A lot of people ask me, why are they doing reworks? Well, an awful lot of the location assets that they have are taken from like publicly accessible things that other people can buy. You'll find assets in Phasmophobia in other games, and what they want is to make their game theirs. So they are reworking stuff with things that they have made in-house, so that when you play Phasmophobia, you're seeing assets that are for Phasmophobia, and you're not looking at assets that you're like, hey, I saw that in another game, or you're not playing another game and being like, hey, it's the bunny from Phasmophobia. So that's why they're doing it. Now, we do have 2 videos here, before and after shots of these 2 locations, but I'll show you them at the end. Our approach to Tanglewood was to give it a much more lived-in feel than the other houses in-game currently, meaning older furniture and decor, giving us a sense of who 6 Tanglewood Drive belonged to before something happened within those walls. We've also begun exploring what's possible in terms of environmental storytelling with our latest maps and these reworks. While we aren't spilling any secrets just yet, we're looking forward to seeing Ghost Hunters explore and perhaps piece together their own stories for what takes place at 6 Tanglewood Drive. So they're going to be telling a bunch of stories with the environment, which I'm very excited about. So let's talk about the design. 6 Tanglewood Drive was one of Phasmophobia's first maps, and we've learnt so much since then. We want our maps to each provide a unique gameplay experience, different room layouts, various options for players to approach any one contract, more ghost interactions. With all this in mind, we've approached the design of this rework with not only a profound sense of respect for the map that started it all, but with everything we as a team have learned designing newer maps such as Nell's Diner. I don't get why people are upset about the map updates. To me, it makes sense to remake the older maps with the quality they can now afford to implement before the full release. I agree. I like that they now are in a position where they can afford to make their own assets and make the game that they wanted to make in the beginning. Whereas like in the beginning, all they had was access to public domain assets and stuff. So they just put together what they had on the budget that they had. The only problem that I have with the remake is purely and simply a selfish one, is that I'm going to miss my favorite looping spot in the kitchen. That's the only thing that I'm going to be like, about. I think a lot of people, just playing devil's advocate here, I think people get really attached to their favourite maps and there's a sense of nostalgia there. And I think people are just scared that it's going to get ruined. But I don't think people need to worry. I think they need to trust the developers a little bit more and judge it once you've played it, if that makes sense. I think because it's been so long, people have kind of forgotten it's an early access, which means that changes are not only possible, but likely. Exactly. And it's nice to see that the developers, like I say, are in a position where they can make it the vision that they wanted for their own game. Like, that's nice to see. Eddie just wants to be Jerry in a game of cat and mouse with the ghosts. I do. But it's okay. I'm excited to explore this new map and see what they do with it. But let's read on. In this rework, it is important that we keep the core design of the house as familiar as possible. So while there aren't any drastic layout changes, bar one we'll talk about in a moment, the island in the kitchen! The redesign has given 6 Tanglewood Drive a much richer personality, introduced through new interactions landmarks that players will notice from their first steps inside. So here's a look at the outside, which we've seen. I'm pretty sure we've seen this already. Now, look at this! Look at this! Let me just bring this down for you guys a little bit. Hold on. Ooh! One area that will feel very fresh to all players is the sound of Tanglewood Drive. We've implemented a whole host of new audio features, both to existing parts of Tanglewood and new one, creating one of our most immersive maps in-game yet. They've added a whole bunch of new audio files to this, so it's going to sound like a lived-in area. This is what the hall down towards the kitchen is going to look like. So over here is where the living room is. This is the hallway to the kitchen. This is the kitchen on this side. This is the dining room over here. This is the door to the basement. This is the door to the garage. And now we've got a door here, which people are speculating whether it's going to be like to a backyard or whether it's just going to be like to the side of the house, or if you're not even going to be able to open this door at all. Maybe it's just a visual, like a window that you can see out of with like the ghost will leave fingerprints on that. It might not even open, but we'll see. I have seen images of the dining room. The dining room table has gotten smaller and rounder, so that's where our main looping spot is going to be, maybe. But we haven't seen the basement yet. We haven't seen the basement. Now, there's even a dryer jingle. So the dryer jingle, like when the dryer is finished, it's going to have a wee jingle. Fantastic. When we first revealed a look at the rework, we saw a lot of conversation around the new kitchen area and the distinct lack of a looping spot, my favourite looping spot in the game. I'll get over it, I'm sure. While the looping spot has indeed been removed from the kitchen area, ghost hunters needn't fear. There's still excellent locations within the walls of 6 Tanglewood Drive to loop your ghosts. We chose to make this decision purely on a gameplay perspective and overall flow of the map. When you enter the new kitchen, it'll feel much more natural and in line with the scene we're setting. So I'm going to trust them. I'm going to trust them that they're telling a story and it will make sense when we're in the map. We knew when we announced that 6 Tanglewood Drive would be getting a rework, it would be a hot topic amongst the community due to its popularity and the place it holds in the players' hearts. With the work now done on this new version, we believe we've only improved on what makes the map so special. We hope you enjoy the new look when it releases on March 3rd, 2026. So let's take a look, because it does tell a story. The new design tells a story about who lived here. It's like an old man from the 70s. Like the carpet and all of this is very old man 70s kind of feel. But then I'll show you these two videos. Okay, so there's a before and after of the garage. So here's what it looks like before. And here's what it looks like after. Now look at that. The old 70s Chevrolet or something like that. The old vintage car, the grill, the lawnmower, the bags of trash and the soil and stuff. There's a little fridge there as well. It's very clean. And the good thing about this car is that this van is fine, but it's huge. And normally when I'm looping a ghost round here, I can't see over the car. So I can't see the ghost. I have to like rely on the sound, audios and cues only when looping the ghost round here. But with the car, it looks a whole lot shorter. So when you're looping the ghost round here, you should be able to see the ghost over the top of the car. Now that means that the ghost can see you, but if you take Eddie's number one rule and always crouch, you should be fine. But this looks nice. This looks nice. And then we've got the living room. So here's the before and after of the living room. Let me show you. Here's the before and here's the after. Now, it looks... I thought it was going to be like a little old man, but there's evidence of a little old lady, unless, of course, our little old man likes pink, because what is gender and colour doesn't equal gender. But do you know what I mean? Like, it looks like he has a wife. It looks like she's in charge of the living room, and she embroiders all of her cushions. There's cake, and there's 2 coffee cups. So I think that it's a little old couple, and she's into embroidery and baking. And he's into, because we've got this image up here, he's into trains. Now, why this? Let me tell you what I think this is. I think they've redesigned one of the rooms or the basement to have a model village looping spot. I think you can loop around the train room, because the other rooms, there's like 2 other rooms. There's 3 other rooms. There's the main bedroom, there's the kids' room, and then there's the nursery. And I don't know if they're keeping all of the rooms or if they're going to transform one of the rooms into the train room. So my hope for this, because I'm a huge train enthusiast and I love model trains, my hope is that the people that live at 6 Tanglewood Drive are this old elderly couple who still have their car and their decor from the 70s. She likes to bake, so in the kitchen there's going to be like a lot of baking supplies. There's going to be cake in the living room, coffee cups and stuff, tea everywhere. And he likes to fix his car, grill meat and play with his fucking trains. And can the ghost interact with the trains? That's my next question, because if the ghosts can interact with the trains, it's fucking on. It is on. I am going to have so much fun. I want this to be the ghost room 100% of the time, and the ghost just plays with the trains. That would be so fun. Please, Phasmophobia, please, Kinetic Games. Give me the ghost room. Give me the train room. Make it the ghost room. Let's do it. It's going to be so cozy. Now, apparently, they were talking that there is like an underlying lore story to this map, but they don't want to just tell us. They want us to go in, experience the map, enjoy the map, and figure it out for ourselves. But they also want us to kind of like come up with our own stories for things. And I really hope that there is like a model train. I'm trying to have a look at the background and see where this location is, but I'm just really excited. I hope that there's like a miniature village and a train somewhere in this map. I hope that they wouldn't have just put this here for no reason, right? That would be so cool. Yeah, well, the thing I was thinking though, Coffee, is that if it is an older, like an elderly couple and they have a nursery, it's because they've got grandkids. My in-laws are like grandparents, but they've got a nursery because when their granddaughter comes over, she stays in the nursery. So they could technically keep the nursery, and it implies that their kids have kids, if that makes sense, like when their grandkids come over. I don't know why the potato makes a sound when you throw it, but we're not here to argue. I'll be very upset though if that potato doesn't end up back in the kitchen. If we get the rework of Tanglewood and we lose the potato, I'll be very upset. But that's the rework for Tanglewood Drive, coming out March 3rd, so it'll literally be out next week. What do you guys think about the map if you've been watching this at home on YouTube? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited about how it looks? Are you looking forward to seeing all the new looping spots? What do you think about the train? What are your theories? Tell me everything in the comment section down below. A huge thank you if you've been watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. We're off to play some Phasmophobia, aren't we, chat? We're going to go play some Tanglewood and take full advantage of that looping spot in the kitchen before we lose it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy ghost hunting. See you next time.